don't know who else to tell, or what I even expect to happen by posting this. I can't call anyone. He's always around. I'm writing this on my phone, huddled in my closet, hoping the sound of the old house settling will cover the frantic tapping of my thumbs. I feel like a little kid again, hiding from monsters. The difference is, this time, the monster thinks it's my dad. Let me back up. I'm 23, I live with my father. It wasn't the plan, obviously. College, job, my own place. That was the plan. But the economy is what it is, and my mom passed a few years back, and he was getting on in years. He's retired, and his pension is just enough to keep the lights on in this old house. It wasn't a bad arrangement. I'd work my shifts, help with the bills, and he'd potter around the house. We had a rhythm. Quiet, maybe a little lonely, but normal. The change was so gradual, I almost didn't notice it. At first, it was just nice. My dad, who'd basically fused with his armchair for 5 years, suddenly started moving again. The dust of age seemed to fall off him. It started about a month ago when he went down to the basement to fix a leaking pipe. I'd offered to do it, but he insisted. "Still got some use in these old hands," he said. He was down there for hours. When he came up, he was filthy, but he was grinning. "All sorted," he announced, clapping his dusty hands together. He looked invigorated. I figured he was just proud of the repair. The next morning I woke up to the smell of bacon and birds singing. That wasn't unusual. But my dad cooking was. He hadn't made breakfast since my mom died. "Morning, son," he said brightly. "Eggs?" I was surprised but pleased that week. He was a whirlwind of activity. He mowed the lawn, cleaned the gutters, fixed squeaky hinges. I thought he was finally pulling out of his grief. The first hint something was wrong came a week later. I was getting ready to go out with friends. He entered the room, wringing his hands. "You're going out?" His voice was tight, almost pained. He clutched his chest. Feeling a bit funny, tight. I panicked. Should I call someone? No, he said quickly. "I just don't want to be alone." So I stayed. We watched an old western. His pain vanished the moment I canceled my plans. The next time I tried to leave, it was his back. Then headaches, dizziness, stomach bugs. Always when I tried to go somewhere. We fought. "I can't be your prisoner," I shouted. His face crumpled into deep, heartbreaking sadness. "I just need you here," he whispered. And just like that, I felt like the villain. But between these episodes, he was unstoppable. He repainted the porch, fixed the fence, gardened at sunrise. He was strong, stronger than he should be. He carried all the groceries in one trip without breaking a sweat. My dad used to get winded climbing the stairs. It didn't make sense. None of it did. But the real fear started with the sun. We were in the backyard on a bright, cloudless day. I saw shadows everywhere, mine, the fences, the trees. But my dad didn't have one. He was standing in direct sunlight, and nothing. I blinked hard, looked again. Still nothing. A cold knot formed in my stomach. "Dad, can you help me with this?" I asked, pointing to a pot in full sun. Just to see, to test him. His eyes flickered with something like fear. "In a minute," he said quickly, shielding his face. He never came over. As the sun moved, he moved too, always staying inside the shadows. After that, I watched him constantly. He avoided windows during the day. He flinched away from stray beams of light. He only took walks after sunset. He stayed in the dimmest parts of the house. My worry turned into pure dread. He began trying harder to keep me home. He unplugged my car battery and pretended not to know why it wouldn't start. He lost the front door key, trapping us both inside for hours. I tried talking to him, really talking. "You're not acting like yourself," I told him. "Something happened in the basement, didn't it?" His face went cold, still unreadable. "Drop it," he said. The finality in his voice terrified me. That was when I knew the truth was in the basement. I waited until last night to investigate. I pretended to go to sleep and listen to him move around the house. His footsteps were soft, almost silent, unlike my real dad. I heard him check every lock in the house. Then finally, his bedroom door closed. I waited. Minutes felt like hours. When I was sure he was asleep, I crept downstairs. I didn't dare turn on the lights. The basement door was cold to the touch. I opened it slowly. The latch clicked too loudly. A wave of damp, cold air washed over me. It smelled like wet earth, and something metallic, sweet, the smell of decay. My phone was my only light. I went down the stairs one at a time, shaking. The basement looked the same, concrete floor, stone walls, shadows everywhere. I pointed my light toward the pipe he'd fixed. The pipe was new, clean, too clean, but the ground next to it wasn't. A patch of dirt, large, freshly disturbed. My heart sank. I knew what it meant. Still, I had to see. I found a garden trowel in an old bucket. I knelt and began to dig. The earth was soft, too soft. My breathing turned frantic. Then the trowel hit something soft. I dropped it and reached into the dirt with my hands. My fingers brushed against fabric, denim, the familiar texture of my dad's work jeans. I froze. Then I dug faster, clawing at the dirt. A leg emerged, then a torso, his favorite flannel shirt, and then the face. It was him, my real dad. His skin was pale and waxy. His eyes were closed, his mouth slightly open, a dark gash on the side of his head, dried blood mixed with dirt. He looked peaceful, horribly peaceful, like death had come instantly. A strangled sob escaped me. My dad was dead. He had been dead for a month, and I had been living with something else. Creak. A floorboard groaned above me. I turned slowly toward the stairs. My phone's light trembled in my hand. He was there, standing at the top of the stairs, a dark silhouette against the faint hallway light. Watching me, I couldn't see his face, but I felt his eyes. I was trapped. When he reached the bottom step, the light hit his face. He was wearing my father's pajamas, his hair, his wrinkles, all identical. But the expression wasn't his. He was smiling, softly, sadly. A smile full of sympathy that froze my blood. "I knew you'd find your way down here eventually," he said. His voice was my father's, but smoother, too smooth. "I'm sorry you had to see this." I pressed myself against the wall, shaking. He didn't move closer, he just watched me. "It was an accident," he said softly. He pointed toward the loose earth. "The second to last step is rotten." He fell, hit his head. It was quick. He didn't suffer. His voice sounded almost gentle. My throat tightened. Tears blurred my vision. "What are you?" I whispered. He tilted his head in a disturbingly familiar way. "I'm him," he said, "and I'm not. Think of me as the other shadow, the one that lives on the other side of the veil. We watch, we follow. We feel what they feel. Their joys, their sorrows, their love." He stepped closer, just one step. I flinched violently. He froze, raising his hands as if calming a frightened animal. "Your father's final thought was you. His fear of leaving you alone pulled me through. I am his love, his duty, given form." He gestured around the basement, the tools, the pipes, the grave. I finished his work. I fixed the pipe. I buried him so you wouldn't have to. I've been repairing the house, protecting you. I've been trying to be a good father. The words felt insane, but horribly real. My dad is dead, I choked out. Yes, he said softly. He is. And I'm so sorry for your loss. He stepped closer until he stood right in front of me. Then he knelt, lowering himself to my eye level. His face was only inches from mine. I could see every pore, every wrinkle, too perfect. He loved you more than anything, he whispered. And so do I. I'll never leave you. I'll take care of you. We can be a family. Forever. My whole body shook with silent terror. And that's where I am now. He let me go upstairs, walked behind me the whole way. He's in the living room now, watching TV like nothing happened. While my real father lies buried downstairs, I'm locked in my closet, typing this. I know I can't escape. The doors are locked. He is stronger than me. He doesn't sleep. He will never grow old. He will take care of me. Forever. I hear footsteps in the hallway, soft, quiet, getting closer. He's calling my name, and he sounds just like my dad. Well, if that story didn't make the temperature in this studio drop 10 degrees, I don't know what will. You know, folks, every now and then someone sends us something that hits a little different, something that doesn't sound like a ghost story, or a campfire tale, or a rumor whispered in a diner at 2 a.m. This one sounds like a cry for help, from someone who doesn't have anyone else left to call a shadow wearing a man's skin, a house that suddenly feels too small, a voice that sounds like love but walks like death. Baby, if I ever heard a case that the Warrens would have run toward with a Bible in one hand and holy water in the other, this is it. Now, listen closely. If you're still with us, if you're still safe, you need to get out of that house. I don't care how. Window, roof, back door, break the lock. You run the moment he looks away, because whatever's with you, that's not family. That's something that thinks it is. And to the rest of our listeners, if any of you out there have ever encountered something like this, a mimic, a double, a shadow that learned to walk, you know what to do. Write us. Call us. Tell us your story. Until then, stay in the light. Stay aware. And as always, good night and good luck out there.